Welcome to online classes. This is Srivalli. Today we will discuss about respiration and glycolysis. So, what is respiration? One glucose molecule undergoes oxidation and give rise to CO2, gas, water and 674 calories of energy is released. This is known as respiration. So, respiration is of two types, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Respiration is an oxidative process in which free energy released from organic compounds is used in the formation of ATP. The compounds that are oxidized during the process of respiration are known as respiratory substrates, which may be carbohydrates, fats, proteins, or organic acids. Carbohydrates are most commonly used as respiratory substances. Here, the equation of respiration 6 C6H12O6 plus 6O2 gives rise to 6CO2 and 6H2O plus ATP. Energy 670 4 calories, kilocalories energy. So, two types of respirations, aerobic and anaerobic. So, aerobic respiration involves the following three steps: glycolysis, Krebs cycle, and electron transport. Basically, during cellular respiration, respiratory substrates such as glucose may undergo complete or incomplete oxidation. A complete oxidation of respiratory substrates in the presence of oxygen is termed as aerobic respiration. If the oxygen is absent, so it will undergo incomplete oxidation, that is called anaerobic respiration. So, today the topic is glycolysis. So, this glycolysis term derived from Greek term glykis and lysis. Glykis means sweet and lysis means splitting. This glycolysis pathway is also called EMP pathway. So, the glycolysis pathway was worked out by German scientists Emden and Andrew Meyerhoff and Jacob Paranas. So, E for Emden, M for Meyer, and P for Paranas. So, that's why this pathway is called EMP pathway. This is also known as hexose diphosphate pathway, and it occurs in the cytoplasm. It is common for both aerobic and anaerobic respiration, means glycolysis both present in aerobic and anaerobic respiration. So, here the pathway of glycolysis. So, there are 10 steps in glycolysis. First, glucose converts into glucose 6 phosphate, then fructose 6 phosphate, then fructose 1,6 bisphosphate, then it cleaves into glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate and DHAP. Then glyceraldehyde 3 phosphate becomes 1,3 bisphosphoglyceric acid. Then it will converts into 3 phosphoglyceric acid or 3 PGA. Then it converts into 2 PGA. Then it converts into phosphoenol pyruvate. Finally that becomes pyruvate. So one glucose molecule splits into two pyruvate molecules. Glucose is a 6 carbon compound and pyruvic acids are 3 carbon compound. So one glucose molecule splits into two 3 carbon compound pyruvate molecules is called glycolysis. So let us see the first one. Here first reaction, one by one let us see. First reaction is called phosphorylation. In the first reaction, phosphate group is added to glucose molecule. It results in formation of glucose 6-phosphate. ATP is phosphate donor, and the phosphorylation reaction is catalyzed by the enzyme hexokinase. So this is an irreversible reaction. So here we can see the structure of the glucose and glucose 6-phosphate. So in glucose 6-phosphate, phosphate is added to 6th carbon. The negative charge of the phosphate prevents the passage of the sugar phosphate through the plasma membrane, trapping glucose inside the cell. This is irreversible reaction. In hepatocytes, in liver cells also contain a form of hexokinase called glucokinase. So in liver cells, in the place of hexokinase or instead of hexokinase, glucokinase is present. Then the second reaction is isomerization. Glucose 6-phosphate is converted to its isomer fructose 6-phosphate in the presence of enzyme phosphohexose isomerase. So here phosphohexoisomerase is the enzyme catalyzed this reaction. Here we can see the structure of the glucose 6-phosphate converted into fructose 6-phosphate. What are the differences between these two structures? Glucose is a aldehyde compound and the fructose is the ketose compound. Here glucose aldehyde converted into ketose group. So this is the isomerization. The third reaction is phosphorylation. Again 1 and 3 are the phosphorylation reactions. Here the third, fructose 6-phosphate converted into undergoes phosphorylation and forms fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. ATP is phosphate donor in this step and is catalyzed by enzyme kinase. Here we can see the structure fructose 6-phosphate. Fructose is a ketose and the phosphate on the 6th carbon. So it converted into 1,6 fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So here we are saying bisphosphate. not diphosphate, because the prefix bis is in bisphosphate means the two separate monophosphate groups are present, whereas the prefix diphosphate means the two phosphate groups are present and are connected by an anhydride bond. We can see in ATP adenosine triphosphate bi-tri. Here bisphosphate means two separate monophosphate groups are present on the 1 and 6th carbon. So this reaction is called phosphorylation. The fourth one is cleavage, means fructose 1,6-bisphosphate 6 carbon compound undergoes cleavage with the help of enzyme aldolase, splits into two molecules of 3 carbon substances. One is dihydroxyacetone phosphate, the other is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So dihydroxyacetone phosphate DHAP 3 carbon compound and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate 3 carbon compound. So here the enzyme is aldolase. So in this only glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate participate in the further reaction. Next, fifth reaction, isomerization. So these two dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate both are triose phosphates, means 3 carbon compound molecules. So the product of the above cleavage reaction, isomers among the two trioses, only glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate directly participate in the subsequent reaction. On the other hand, dihydroxyacetone phosphate gets converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate in the presence of triose phosphate isomerase. The enzyme is isomerase and can participate in the next reaction. So we can see the dihydroxyacetone phosphate and glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate both are 3 carbon compound trioses. So these are two isomerases, but only glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate can participate in the next reaction. So fifth reaction is called isomerization. Then sixth reaction. So sixth one is called oxidation. Here glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate undergoes oxidation as well as phosphorylation in the presence of dehydrogenase enzyme and form 1,3-bisphosphoglyceric acid and NADH. For phosphorylation, inorganic phosphate available in the cytosol is utilized as in earlier reactions where ATP is utilized. The two hydrogens released in the oxidation reaction are transferred to hydrogen acceptor NAD+. NAD+ is reduced NADH plus H+. So here we can see the structure of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate that becomes 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. This is called oxidation. The seventh one, dephosphorylation. So in the oxidation process, one thing here written by blue pen, iodoacetate potent inhibitor. So there is a chemical, iodoacetate is a potent inhibitor of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase because it forms a covalent derivative of the essential SH group of the enzyme active site, rendering it inactive. So in some poisons, this iodoacetate is used for killing the ants, rats, etc. So it stops the glycolysis and kill the animal or insects. Seventh one, dephosphorylation. In the next step, dephosphorylation, 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid results in the formation of 3-phosphoglyceric acid or 3-PGA in the presence of kinase enzyme. In this reaction, ADP molecule becomes ATP. ADP molecule accepts the phosphate released from the 1,3-bis phosphoglyceric acid and gets converted into ATP. This process of ATP formation is known as substrate level phosphorylation. So this is called substrate level phosphorylation. In this reaction, ADP converts into ATP, substrate level phosphorylation. The eighth reaction, intramolecular shift. So in this, 3-PGA, 3-phosphoglyceric acid converted into 2-phosphoglyceric acid in the presence of mutation. So the 3-phosphoglyceric acid, here we can see the phosphate shifts from third carbon to second carbon. So the pink shade we can see the phosphate group attached to third carbon in 3-PGA and it attached to shifted to second carbon in 2-PGA. So this is called intramolecular shift. The ninth step, dehydration. D means removing, hydration means water molecule in the presence of enzyme enolase. The removal of one water molecule from 2-phosphoglyceric acid resulting in the formation of phosphoenol pyruvic acid, PEP. We can say PEP means phosphoenol pyruvic acid. 2-PGA converted into PEP in the presence of enolase. This is inhibited by fluoride chemical. Here also this reaction is controlled by fluoride. So PEP formed in the dehydration. So one water molecule is removed from the 2-phosphoglyceric acid. Then the tenth one is dephosphorylation. In the final step and last step of the glycolysis, phosphoenol pyruvic acid undergoes dephosphorylation in the presence of enzyme pyruvic kinase results in the formation of pyruvic acid. ADP is converted to ATP. This is second step, substrate level phosphorylation. Earlier we have seen in 7th reaction, 7 and 10th reactions are dephosphorylation. So this is also an irreversible reaction. 1, 3 and 7 are irreversible reactions. These 3 reactions control the glycolysis and the significance of the glycolysis. As a result of 2 substrate level phosphorylations in 7th and 10th steps. So in 7th 2 ATPs are formed, in 10th 2 ATPs are formed. One from DHAP, one from G3P, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. As a total of 4 molecules, 4 ATPs are formed. 2 ATP molecules are utilized during first and 3 reactions in phosphorylation reactions. Hence, the net gain of ATP molecules is 2. In addition to 2 molecules of NADH plus H plus are also formed in the sixth reaction, that is oxidation. So that's why the glucose splits into 2 pyruvic acids. So 1, 3 and 10th reactions are irreversible reactions. So thank you.